Hey guys, what's up? I hope you all are having a great day. Happy to be back with episode 4 of my golf course vlog series, this time at Jonathan's Landing Golf Club. So let's get into the video. So as you can see, it is quite foggy and overcast. So one of the toughest things I was battling all day today was moisture and controlling the ball, especially coming off the face. So this was definitely a really tough 9 for me to play, but I really enjoyed it because this was definitely a tough course and made me really have to stay sharp to hit good shots. So hit a really good drive on this opening par 5 hole. Left myself a flip wedge in. Left this one out a little bit to the right, but still a pretty good shot. And a really difficult pin location here, kind of on a bit of a crown. Probably about 18 feet here for my eagle. So have a chance to get out of the gates very hot. Hit a pretty good putt, just a little high, but I'll definitely take that because this was probably one of the hardest putts I've hit in a while. So, really good start, a nice little 4. Hole 2, another par 5. I apologize, I didn't have the TrackMan numbers on this particular shot because the back of the tee fell off really sharply. And you can probably tell the camera angle is pretty close too because I just didn't have any room to put the TrackMan and the camera behind me. But I did hit a really good drive here, cut the corner pretty nicely. Have a 146 yards left, so really great leave here. And as you can tell, there's just a lot of dew on this fairway. Basically felt like I was playing in a cloud because it was just moisture everywhere. And yeah, I fatted that. You can tell you fatted it when your ball speed's slower than your club speed. It's very fortunate because there was a pond on the right. Luckily, the ball did just get over the pond, so not a good shot, but still have an opportunity to get up and down for a birdie. Nice little 60-degree wedge here. I'm just trying to clip it off and get it to land softly. And did just that. Nice little check on the ball there. Kept it pretty close to the hole. So I'll have a 3.5, 4-footer for birdie. So as I was sizing up this putt, I thought this was going to break right to the left. But as I look at this putt, it's obvious to me that if anything, you're sliding left to right. So that's definitely something I need to work on a little bit better, is being able to read which way the putt's moving better. Hopefully, as I continue playing more and more golf, I'll improve on that with time. So a bit of a disappointing 5 there. So now hole 3, a little 2-iron here. Just trying to cut off a little bit of the corner without risking hitting it into those marsh lands up there. This was a really interesting hole, because as you'll see here, the green is just a complete and total peninsula into this marshland, and I thought that was pretty cool. Definitely made it a tougher shot, but it was a pretty cool visual for sure. So just another little flip wedge here, just trying to make a good swing on it. And I don't know, with all this moisture, I just never really got comfortable over the ball and over the belief that I can control it the way I wanted to. Because obviously when you have moisture, you're going to be in a position where the ball is going to react a little bit less consistently than you'd like. And also with it being wet and me being a pretty steep player, I had to really battle chunking or being too steep on a lot of these wedge shots, just like you saw on hole 2 with me being way too steep there. So this is something I battled all day. So this is about 30-40 feet. This is my birdie attempt. Not a great putt, but at this point, I was just happy to leave myself 3 feet left, so lined up the putt to made a good stroke and brushed it in. So that was a really good 4. I think this was probably the hardest hole on the course, in my opinion, even though it wasn't that long. So now hole 4, really short par 3, 108 yards, just a little 54-degree wedge. Pin really looked to be in a tough spot here, back left. So I was just trying to get comfortable over the ball and make a good swing. And I really pulled it. And you can see there, once again, I took way too much divot. And looking back on this, one of the things I wish I could have known to do while I was playing this round of golf, was to come more from the inside instead of throwing it over the top. Because that's what's been happening on these rounds here. I've been getting too steep, coming down too hard on it. And when it's dry, I can get away with it. But when it's wet, that's when I get exposed. So I need to work on coming from the inside a little more and trying to hit a bit of a draw. So this was my flop shot, and you could hear how close it landed to the camera. I was actually really nervous when I hit this. It was going to hit the camera, and it probably was only a few feet short of doing so. So kind of got lucky that I didn't hit my camera because that would have sucked. So got about 20 feet here coming back and hit a pretty good putt, gave it a good run, just didn't quite read it the way I wanted to. But I do want to, from that range, I would love to be able to have that kind of pace. I don't mind leaving myself 3-footers, 2 to 3 footers, because I actually feel like I'm okay at them. Obviously I miss a few, but it's probably better for me to do that. Now I'm just going to stop talking and turn the volume up here, because I think you guys want to listen to this. I thought that was a pretty cool sound. I remember this being probably one of the most flush shots I'd had in a while, so that felt good. Probably my first shot that I can really say I felt like I hit a good shot. So 135 yards left, second shot. Nice little 46-degree wedge in. And once again, just trying to attack the hole. I just wasn't ever able to really feel comfortable and like what my eyes were showing me. So it was hard to kind of put bad thoughts out of my head. I was doing the best I could. So this was an okay shot. Left it a little bit long and right. So not the best of shots, but not terrible either. So I left myself about 35 feet downhill for birdie. And again, you can see the dew is literally just on the green the entire round. So it made it very hard to pick up the speed, because as you can tell, what happens is the ball's either going to roll over dew and pick up water and slow down, or it's not. And around the pin, there wasn't any dew, as you can tell, because everyone's footprints were there, so that it was a little bit faster. And away from the pin, it was slower because there's dew. So when you're away from the pin, the ball is moving slower, and when you're closer to the pin, the ball moves faster. It's actually a lot harder to hit a good lag putt, because obviously your target is to hit it close to the pin, and if the ball's rolling fast around the pin, it's hard to do that. So first time I'm able to really let one rip here, and I put some speed on this one. Almost 143 club speed, 211.5 ball speed, 356 carry. So those are some pretty good numbers right there. I pulled it a bit, and as you can tell, it plugged, which definitely didn't surprise me given how wet it was. So 77 yards left here. Second shot, little 54-degree wedge, and it was a pretty wet lie, as all these were, but this was really wet, and I felt like this would jump a lot. I made the swing I wanted to, it just didn't jump. So not much I could do there. That's just the result of being in wet rough. That's just going to happen sometimes. That's why it's more important to be in the fairway, if you can. So now I have a birdie, coming back up the hill, still trying to get a feel for these greens, and made a really, really good putt. Probably the best putt I've hit so far. Gave it a bit of a run, and I have about 2 feet left for my par. And when you're 35 feet away uphill, you know, those are putts you want to take all day long. So another solid 4. So not playing amazing, but definitely not playing that bad either. So now in hole 7, even par, 440 yards, trying to get in position off the tee with the 2-iron. Hold it just a bit, but it should be okay. Just a little bit off the fairway maybe. And this was a tough course for me to play, because it really made me play to my weaknesses, which I like, meaning that I couldn't really take advantage of my length as much as I wanted to, and I really had to try to use course management, which is great for me because that's something I have to improve this year. So this was definitely a really fun challenge. So 180 some yards out with a 46-degree wedge. Once again, just not taking any chances with catching a flyer and hitting it really long. But unfortunately, I left this way right. And when I mean way right, like by that car path on the right there. And you can't see me, but I'm behind a huge knoll. And really just trying to hit a really high flop shot. And you can see it land in there. And she just ran. I was kind of a little disappointed with that. When I hit it, I thought it would be a little bit closer. But I just didn't leave myself in a very good spot. So coming back up from my par now, about 20 feet. Just not a very good putt. So I will drop a shot on this hole, unfortunately. So back to, well, now I'm 1 over, so no longer even par. Hole 8, par 3, 162 yards with a 46-degree wedge. This was about probably 95%, so it was a pretty comfortable yardage for me. Hit it just right at this pin, a bit over the green. I mean, a bit over the pin, but on the green, rather. So this was a pretty solid shot. And have a decent look at birdie, but not like the greatest look. So another putt where I'm I want to give it a run, but I also don't want to leave myself way too much. I will say the one good thing about the dew is that I could actually see previous balls and how they had broke. So it would leave me the ability to be able to know the line a lot better if someone had just putted from I was a few minutes or within the hour before I did. So left it short in the hole, and that's just me getting exasperated because I was hitting it long of the hole, short of the hole, and I was just having a tough time getting a feel for it. But I think that's to be expected when you have all this dew on the greens. It's just going to be a very tough day anyway. So hole 9, last hole. I pulled this a bit, but luckily there was room left to miss. 142 in the club speed, almost 211 ball speed, almost 350 carry. So all in all, not a bad shot. As you can see, I did have room left here. So 88 yards, second shot, hitting my 54-degree wedge. And I was really trying to dial this one in because I really wanted to finish this even par. So I made a good swing, and this was right at the pin, and it felt good off the face. And it just landed probably 30 feet too far. So just couldn't quite dial it in all day with the wedges, unfortunately. So now I'm left with about 35 feet to get back to even par for the 9 holes. And gave it a run. Thought for a while this might have a chance, but left it just a bit short in the hole. So I will tap that in for a 1 over par 37. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.